Hello, my name is Fred Campion, and I'm from the Dirtpile Cree Nation, Mitatagausipi, up in the Lesser Slave Lake region. Inanas ko mo ano ta huktawinom. Kasawitsigate kum. Kaskino. Mina kagi migoak. Kegi wai tu matsiak machito tamako taski. Kapmuktiak. Kapmuktiak kon da simsnana ko semno ko chapando. Kakyo totemno. Inanas ko mo an is Wakustamanista, Umutaski. I just want to say thank you, and I'm just making reference in our language to giving the Creator thank you for all of the blessings and the gifts that we have, giving acknowledgement to our families, our children and grandchildren, acknowledging our people on the land. We've always had a great understanding and relationship with the water. And the water to us is very sacred. The water is a spirit and an entity that is alive. The water is part of one of the, I guess, what we call grandmother that gives life. She's the water is feminine in our ceremonies, and a grandmother. So when you think about the water as a spirit, it changes the perception on how we treat the water. In society today, water is more or less seen as a resource. And to us, she's not a resource only, she's very much a spirit that is alive. The aspect of respecting her is always at the top. Because if we don't respect, we lose that respect, then there's nothing safe in the world. We need to, so a couple of the very important teachings, first of all, we get this in our ceremonies is respect. And the second one is sharing. Those are two highly valued principles, if you will, or rules, if you want to call it, law, all these different ways of looking at that, because it goes hand in hand. And so I think it's important to have everyone respect the water. You're respecting life, because without water, we don't live. We can't live without water. And so, her being a grandmother is one of the sources of life. There's actually four, if I might go a little further, four grandmothers. This goes back to some of our stories from our elders about creation stories. And so imagine when the world was being created by Creator, all of these, what we call today grandfathers and grandmothers, there was a beginning. And our belief is where we come from is the Creator's world. And so there's four grandmothers who He created to have what we have when He was creating and contemplating creating life. And one of the first ones that He created was Grandmother Moon, Dipskaupism. Grandmother Moon is the oldest. They're like sisters, if you will. And the second one is our Mother Earth, Kawinawaski. And the third one is the water that we see everywhere, the rivers, the lakes, the streams. underneath the ground, our mother. And so the fourth one actually is the image of the women you see walking around today. That's the fourth one created. And to create life, created the woman. We need to teach that and to remind people about the sacredness of water as a spirit being herself. And I think that changes the view of how we treat the water, but not only that, how we treat one another. Saskatchewan is interpreted in English, it means fast-flowing river. And the intention of these rivers is to feed and go outward to the land, right? And so everybody that use the river is a source. They used to build their villages and communities close to the water, where there was a source of water, right? And the rivers were very much that. And so the Saskatchewan River is a very important part of the landscape, where it's what is making life happen. And it originates from the glaciers in the mountains, right? And it goes all along the prairies, from the mountains to the foothills to the prairies and so forth. And it's a very powerful river, as many of them are. All of them are, I would say. The land, the forests, the bush, where our plants are growing, our medicine. That's how we look at it, that spirit is doing its job, going to the garden. So we have that medicine to help sustain us, heal us, doctor us. Let's say all of the water is polluted all over the world. That means that spirit is dying. That spirit is going to leave. And so I understand and I believe that spirit lives within that element, within that entity, within that, the liquid, the thing we call water, the pi. There's a living spirit in that. And so the more you, like us as a human, when we're done here, our body, we die. Our body dies. But our spirit that lives within us travels on. And that's a similar thing with all the things in nature. Everything has a spirit. When you think about water, how important it is at every aspect, every level of our life, to respect that and to honor that and to help nurture that, protect it, protect these rivers and these lakes that are being polluted in some way. Governments have to change their way of looking at this. Not only governments, but people in general. It's not a resource. Yes, we consume, we use, we use it for cleaning and all this other stuff. But I really want to see how people in general can come around to the idea of just simple respect. And then from there, I think things will go better. And so there's also, I sat with some scientists a while back who talked about the water and the molecules and all these other things, and how they saw how this all is intertwined. And along that way, they began to realize that there is something here that's, when we talked about spirit, they were able to say, yes, this is alive. This is a spirit in here that's alive. So my teachings were shared with me. Primarily, it was my grandparents, my first teachers, my grandmother and my grandfather. And From there, my late mother, usuka pa uskwel, and also on my father's side, coming from a different territory, but coming with ceremony as well. So I learned from those folks early on, and then from there I was learning from many elders from across the prairie region in particular, but also from elders that came up from the U.S., elders that came from out east. The Creator, mostly, Kohtawino, Saimanto, about the Creator and the creation, and that we're not forgotten, that we're not here just passing through. The responsibility that we have to take care of this is everyone's responsibility. Every human being walking on our planet, on our Mother Earth, everyone's responsibility to take care of and to understand their relationship with these things. And if they don't, you shirk your responsibility, well, you're putting everything at risk for not being there or not being able to coexist. Because nature itself is very powerful, not only for ourselves as a person in walking here, but we also have a responsibility for our children and our future generations, that they have the same opportunity or the chance to live and learn about how to coexist with the natural world, with human beings. I grew up hearing that term, what kind of world are we going to leave for our children? I say, what kind of child are we going to leave for the world? So in closing, I want to say I thank those elders that entrusted me to carry the ceremony, have taught me and given me their knowledge and their experience, and encouraged me and doctored me, and sama na naskomoan.